imagine what this moment must be like for all of these players. I mean, they played some great games to get here to this point of the season, winning some close ones, Lloyd. And now, you know, on the cusp, really, of one of the great moments in club history. If they can go ahead and seal the deal, they'll have to beat players like Brad Olesen of UCAM Murcia, a veteran, a real sharpshooter, a really good UCAM Murcia team that has really come good at the right time, it seems, in this Basketball Champions League.
Absolutely, Jeff. I mean, it's an exciting game as we see Ovi Soko, the British forward for UCAM Murcia, a player who's probably going to need to step up for his team. But, you know, the story of the game coming in is really the atmosphere in here. Who deals with it best? AEK, you know, the Cinderella story, really, 50 years after the first European title. They're coming in here, huge crowd, and it's guys like Kevin Punter who's going to have to really step up for them. Him and Harris in that backcourt, you know, how key they can be. And then on the other side, you've got Murcia and how they're going to deal with this atmosphere. You know, so often you see players either shrink or grow in a situation like this. And I just feel like there's a lot of guys in that Murcia team that they're going to relish this occasion.
Well, certainly Manny Harris from the state of Michigan has been one of the top performers in the Basketball Champions League this season. Kevin Punter, we saw him, who was forever in AEK lore for that incredible moment at the end of the game against Ches Nidberg in the second leg, his three-pointer, getting him into the quarterfinals. But what kind of season has it been for UCAM Murcia? You can see the highlights up on the screen. They looked like, perhaps at the beginning of the season, a team that could go all the way, but then they hit some rocky patches, and we didn't even know if they'd make the playoffs. But here they are. But in fact, both of these teams, we just didn't even know if they would make it to the playoffs, never mind the Final Four. So for them, it's been all about survive and advance.
Well, we saw a couple of the keys for UCAM Murcia, but I don't think you can go too much further than Augusto Lima for a difference maker for this UCAM Murcia team. You know, he's a guy that's come in just for the playoffs, and there's no surprise, the playoffs is when they really started to improve. They've gone from a team which was, you know, one of the lesser defensive teams in the competition in the regular season. We're talking about a team which was 19th in defensive rating out of the teams that made it through to the regular season, and now in the playoffs, the #1 ranked defensive team. Only thing different for them is Augusto Lima.
And if AEK Athens faced the Augusto Lima, who played so well in that first leg at Pino Karšiaka, it could be a long night for them. Augusto Lima, the Brazil international, played at the Olympics in 2016. But UCAM Murcia, I think they've got several weapons. Cleveland Hanna has been solid, almost spectacular at times. But it's as you said, UCAM Murcia has played in some very hot atmospheres, whether it's been in Spain's La Liga. I mean, whenever they host a big game at home, it's a hot atmosphere. So they really do thrive on this type of situation. Keep your eyes on Sadio Rojas. He will be a player who thrives in this, who loves, he will try to get his man out of his game, and he'll really get into it with the crowd. Great scene in Oaxaca. 50 years ago today, or 50 years ago rather, European Cup winners, Cup finals, champions after beating Slavia Prague, and then in 2000 winning the Supporter Cup. So AEK, 2 wins away from adding to their famous history. I guess that first one would be tough to top, wouldn't it? 80,000 people paying to see it, and another 40,000 roaming around watching it.
It sounds like 80,000 in here, though. That's the thing. I mean, it's a loud gym in here. And for AEK, again, the atmosphere, how does that help or hinder them? It's great when you're playing well. It's great when you make a couple of shots. You know, the crowd gets into it, they cheer you on. But You start missing a couple, they get anxious, they get down, and it makes it even harder. And the pressure of playing at home, the pressure in front of, you know, the 18,000 people here wanting you to repeat from 50 years ago, does that get too much for this AEK team?
Well, we're going to look at the referees for tonight's game from Serdan Dozai there in the middle. Tolga Sahin from Italy on the left, and Marius Tirlin from Romania. So three of the best, three of the most experienced, getting a big game in a big game atmosphere. And what was really telling in the press conference that we just attended was Monaco coach Svestin Mitrovic, after his win over MHP Rees in Lewisburg, said, "I want to play AEK." You only get a chance like this perhaps once in a lifetime to play in front of a crowd like this, in front of a host of a Final Four, and you want to make the most of it. So we shall see. Ovi Soko, Cleveland Hanna, Olesen, Kevin Tumba, and Sadio Rojas are in that starting five. And I was really impressed in the playoffs with the play of Tumba, the Belgium international.
He's a good player. Started a lot for Coach Ivan Navarro, but you know, like we talked about Lima, it doesn't matter whether he starts or he comes off the bench. He's going to make an impact for me. The three-point shooting is the key. You know, Olesen and Hanna are the two real knockdown shooters from this Murcia team, and AEK are going to know they have to key on Olesen. If they can take away his three-point shot, there's question marks for me about the perimeter attack.
And for AEK, it'll be Manny Harris, Mike Green, Delroy James, Yanulis Larenzakis, and Vince Hunter. So a big, strong, athletic starting five roared on by a capacity or a near capacity crowd here. Certainly looks big. And Dragan Sakura is, look at him, he looks like he's excited.
Absolutely. They've got a couple of big-time scorers for them coming off the bench. Dusan, his son, and then also Kevin Punter, we talked about already. Both of those guys coming in off the bench. You know, game's a bit more open. That suits Sakota, likes to pick and pop, likes to shoot it. And then Kevin Punter is always kind of, you know, the guy coming off the bench, whatever they need, he'll be able to fill it up.
Well, the winner will advance to face Monaco, who in the end were convincing winners. Despite trailing at halftime, they pulled away in the second half and won convincingly against MHP Rees in Lewisburg. Great season for Lewisburg, but their title hopes are now over. Monaco, who made it to the Final Four last year before falling to Banvit in their semifinal. They finished third last season. Now they will play for the title, but who will they go up against? Well, they said they were going to go back and watch it on TV and get ready. Let's try to listen in to Ivan Navarro.
On study, let's set this box here, okay, looking for this pass, especially if it's guarded by Manny Harris. If not, okay, we keep on going. We study here, and Brad, we're taking the screen to 4 of the 5, okay? If your man jump, Brad, ready to pass the ball back to play. Because now we play 2-on-2, you and Kenny on the side, okay? Guys, play by play, sure too. Sure too, when you come, finish with this flare. Right. You be ready with good pick here. Set screens, guys, set screens. I said it good. Then watch out. Just one step back. That's one. Plus 2. Guys. Come on, let's go.
AEK Athens.
Fucking go.
You see the crowd. AEK beating Strasbourg in their quarterfinal tie to make it. And before that, obviously coming from 10 points down from the first leg to win at Chesnimberg. So they have continually, and they didn't seal their place in the Final Four. excuse me, they didn't seal their place in the playoffs until the last game day of the regular season. And they needed a Sakura late three-pointer to do that as well. That was against Miri Bayreuth. So there's Sadio Rojas and UCAM Murcia, and we are right about ready to start things off. See the huge banner that says the Queen is here. Ike, known as the Queen in Greece. And it's showing the sign of the 89-82 win over Slavia Prague back 50 years ago, back in 1968 on that banner. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Athens. This is the Basketball Champions League. It's the Final Four. It's the second semifinal between Ike in the yellow and black, who have the ball, and UCAM Murcia out of Spain. Mike Green dribbles inside, passes it back outside to Manny Harris. Harris has the ball taken away by Hanna. Hanna pulls up from deep, and it's an air ball. It falls to Rojas, and now to Olesen. And Olesen, his first attempt is off the back of the rim. And the foul called on Spain, excuse me, on Murcia. No, it's called on Ike.
Yeah, I thought at first he pointed the wrong way, the referee, that was all. Murcia are the team that lead the Champions League in offensive rebounds. It's going to be a big key today. You know, Obi Soko especially is an absolute monster on the glass.
Here's Soko. He's getting inside, has it taken away by James. Now Harris. He's going to go to the hoop. He goes behind the back. He puts it up and gets it to fall. What a way to start for him. A potential three-point play.
The one thing about this Murcia lineup, they're really small in the backcourt. Well, Rojas, Olesen, and Hanna as a trio. They don't have a lot of either height or physical size. And you saw Green already went into the post, now Harris getting into the lane. That's something Murcia are going to have to match that physicality, you know, because that's an advantage for Ike.
So he doesn't capitalize on the trip to the line. Tumba gets it over to Olesen. Now Hanna. Airball in his first attempt. Olesen left open, puts it up at the line. Good.
Like I said, I think he's key. Olesen has a big game. It just opens up everything for Murcia. He's got a tough matchup here against Harris, though.
Hunter, very big and athletic, but kind of fumbles the ball as he gets it inside. And now to Tumba. And Zakas got his hand on that.
Something I mentioned to you, the speed and the motor of this front line of Murcia. You know, we see Tumba, I was talking about Lima, but Tumba was a good 6 or 7 steps ahead of his man in transition there. If they can do that, you know, that's going to be something Ike struggled to match up against.
Here's Soko again, second attempt, gets it inside, this time he's denied. And the quick hands, Rojas knocks it away, and the ball goes back over to Ike. And look at the hustle, comes right over to where we're sitting. Rojas, take a look, does it go off? Well, 50-50 perhaps.
I think the referee said the foot was on the line before it came out, yeah.
Hanna gets inside and goes hard and scores. Draws the foul from Hunter.
That's an incredible finish. Incredible. He was getting ridden the whole way down the lane. And just look, Green's right there, and then watch how he just goes underneath at the last minute. The weak hand to protect it as well. An excellent finish from Clement Hanna. You see, we talked about the psychology of playing in this environment. Murcia straight away, just going straight, going at Mike, not backing down from this challenge.
So 5 unanswered points now from UCAM Murcia. Currently 9th in Spain's top flight, behind Iberostar Tenerife, the team, the defending champions they knocked out in the Basketball Champions League. The first round of the playoffs. That was Harris's miss. Pulls up from deep, and the ball rattles out. And Tumba scrapping for the ball. 2 big bodies going at it. And ball goes off of Tumba and out of bounds. There's Navarro. He's a fiery character. Talk about fiery characters. Look at that. And good hustle from Soko, almost coming up with a steal. Harris with a shot clock down to 5. Now Green. And Green is bumped by Soko. Are they going to call it on Hannah? Yeah, they call it on Soko. His crowd is relentless.
Yeah, that atmosphere behind the basket. We're attacking at this end.
What a year for AEK. They've already won the Greek Cup. James, and hits the 3-pointer. We're tied.
Shooter out there, 33% on the year. Takes about 1.5 a game in the Basketball Champions League, so not a surprise to see the lefty knocking him down.
Now the pass to Tumba, gets it back out to Hannah. The pump fake, works his way in, hands it off to Soko, gets away from him. Rojas inside and finished once again by the smallest man on the court, Hannah.
Well, Clement Hannah kind of looks up for this game in my eyes right now. 3 or 4 times we've seen him be really aggressive offensively. Here he's all over Mike Green.
Harris, they'd like him to get it going. And he drives in and finishes with a strong move.
That's a tough finish for Manny Harris, right? That's what he does.
He says that's how they're doing it in Motown. Now to Soko, and Soko gets rejected by James. The ball saved in bounds by Hunter. And now Harris lays it up. Sakura off the bench. So AEK back in front. Olesen into Tumba. Hunter.
Apart from Hannah, no one else really got going offensively yet for Murcia. Similar to that first game. We saw some woes offensively for Monaco in the early stages.
Gianoulis Larentzakis, and fouled by Olesen. Here he is again, Larentzakis. Just a little bit of a touch foul by Olesen, and it's his second.
Yeah, and that's huge. Vito Benitez is going to come in as we see the rejection from James. Benitez, you know, he can spurt, he can make threes in a hurry, but over the course of the season hasn't been as reliable as Olesen in that spot.
Harris looking like he wants to post up Hannah, and he does.
Like I said, they are small, even Benitez coming in, they get no bigger.
Green played at Butler, famously for the Bulldogs. Of course, he's played in Europe for a while now. And now the block by Hunter.
He got up for that. It's a great offensive rebound for Tumba. 3 or 4 times Murcia haven't been able to finish inside the paint though.
Green takes the contact, left his feet, didn't have anywhere to throw it. Soko up to Benite, he's going to fly in and score. The Brazil international also played at the Olympics back in 2016 in Rio de Janeiro. Green, short, and complains that he was hit. Tolga Sahin says he's not going to have, I'm having none of that.
Physical game so far. We didn't really expect anything different. You know, UCAM Murcia have a way, even though they aren't the most physical team in terms of size, of upsetting the opposition. And I think that shows you a lot about how physical, you know, how much they play with their body, with their hands. It's something they consistently do on the defensive end, and it really helps them.
And now Green picks up the foul. He was complaining about on his air ball that he had been hit, but here he is kind of wrapping up Hannah.
That's smart though. You see him looking towards the official, making sure he could see it.
Now to Rojas, and he misses, but nobody boxes out. Big bad Tumba.
Second time he has got up. That time a little bit more space when he got it. Tumba, we know he can do that. Offensive rebounding. We said they are the best in the Champions League.
Hunter scrapping away. Second effort. Second chance points. Green for 3. Good box out from Soko, and now up ahead to Benite. And he's blocked. Great play by Green. Just put his hands up, took it away. Larantzakis. And the ball rattles out.
Opportunities for both teams. Even. And took another move from Hannah again.
Oh, Hannah is the master of taking the contact and staying with the shot. Unbelievable. Twice now he has finished to perfection.
What a start from Kevin Hannah.
I don't think he gets enough credit. I really don't.
I would say this though, this is the most aggressive I've seen him all season off the dribble. Usually he stays out on the perimeter, he's very happy to include others, you know, but right now he is really aggressive in trying to break people down, get into the lane, and he's got 7 points already here.
Make it 8. 8 is great.
Complete change of the front line for Murcia as well. Tello and Lima in. I think Lima's a big key.
And Vasilis Xanthopoulos has come into the game as well. Number 4 for Ike. Also coming in for Ike. This Sakura. And Kevin Punter. He of the famous 3-pointers. So they got 2 game-winning heroes out there, Sakura and Punter. But Harris is the one that takes the 3 and rims out.
Good deep from Rojas. It was one of those, he bit on the fake but didn't commit the foul.
Wow. And Antello misses, but another chance, and it's Benite! And Dragan Sakura has seen enough. He's going to call timeout.
Just the momentum shifted to Murcia, and it's the 3-point shot. Antello is a man, he's got the, you know, the strangest form in the, at least the Champions League, if not world basketball, but he can knock him down. And Benite, we said he's a bit streaky, but if he's having an on night, watch out.
They got the ball, we didn't take any calls to make a foul. No, for outside. It's the big here. Ball down inside. Number 5.
See the early numbers shooting the basketball. Murcia, just 1 of 7. That was their first make from deep. And it was by Benite.
They haven't needed to make the three-point shots for two reasons. One, because Clevin Hanna's getting to the ring, and then number two is because the rebounding the ball, they've just been really good. 5 offensive rebounds already as a team. Rojas has got 2 in there. Tumba as well has got 2.
Mavroidis, another Greece international, along with Larizakis. He checks into this, and Sakura as well has played for Greece. Sakura passes out of trouble. Punter for 3. Good!
That's a big shot from Punter. That's what he does.
Lima gives it to his fellow Brazilian. Benite, this time denied, and now it's a 3-on-2 break. Will Punter pull up? He does! And the ball falls to Xanthopoulos, and it was knocked out of bounds by Antello.
Great work from Xanthopoulos, really, to keep it alive. Punter, you've got to give him that free rein to take that one. That's what he does.
In fact, I think it went off of Rojas. Mavroidis knocks it back out of bounds, out to the perimeter rather. Now he gets it, he loses it. And Sakura, the coach, appealing for a foul, but those appeals fall on deaf ears. Now the pass thrown by Hanna into Xanthopoulos. And they're gonna, it was kicked, so they're gonna reset the shot clock.
The thing I love about Murcia is, you look out on the floor at the moment, they've got a Brazilian, a Dutch, sorry, 2 Brazilians, a Dutch, and a man from the Dominican Republic.
It's the United Nations.
And then they've got a Brit on the bench. They've got a Belgium on the bench. I mean, just non-traditional kind of basketball powers as well.
Manny Harris gets it inside. Benite just lets him have it. And now Yvonne Navarro calls timeout. Xanthopoulos has played well since coming in, and Harris just kind of snuck in there.
Design play, can't see it, the screen on the weak-hand side of the floor. Usually it's for the three-point shot in the corner, but Harris saw all the space under the basket, so just got the layup. Great recognition from him, and Murcia are going to have to sort it over.
First they carry, then press break. We're going to play 2 side
The numbers shooting the basketball. You mentioned the Dutchman. Shoreline Wolf just came into the game for Hanna, so he's only played 9 seconds. But another of those Murcia players, very good, plays for his national team, and made some big plays against Pino Crashiaca.
I mean, Murcia play obviously in the ACB League in Spain, one of the toughest, if not the toughest domestic league. And they have a budget which is, one of the smallest in the league. This is how they've survived. They've put together a great lineup of those non-traditional countries, like we said. Players might not be as well known as others.
You saw the little shot there of Theo Papaloukas. I think it's safe to attach the word legend of Greek basketball to that name. Kind of engineered the upset of the USA at the 2006 FIBA Basketball World Cup. And now Manny Harris sneaks in there, takes it away, and then lays it up and in. And that's coming out of a timeout. That's going to upset Navarro.
Well, that's a disaster. Absolute disaster.
Kloof, did he beat the shot clock? Yes, he did. No, he did not. And the game clock, rather. So that is it for the first quarter. You set up the play for the last attempt. You turn it over, and Ike go to the bench with a 1-point lead.
Well, that couldn't have gone worse the last 30 seconds because they burnt a timeout as well. That's the other thing. You know, Coach Navarro took the timeout with only 30 seconds remaining. Now, if there's a run early in the second quarter from Ike, what do? Calls the timeout, he's got none left. So it was a big call, and it backfired at this moment in time.
So the shooting, just 1 3-pointer from Murcia. Harris is elevating his game, isn't he?
Started pretty high anyway, right? With Manny Harris, the leading scorer in the playoffs, coming in. That's what he does. And this is a guy who, you know, spent a lot of time in the NBA. He is a very high pedigree player. He has the single game scoring record in the Basketball Champions League this year. In the 36 he scored against Jessenberg. He leads the league in efficiency, which shows you he's not just the scorer. You know, he does it with great percentages, and like I said, 21 points a game in the playoffs.
Well, he's on course for 40 right now. 10 points, leads all scorers. 8 points, however, for Hannah from Murcia. They, so far, don't look quite as effective when he's not out there.
I said it, the three-point shooting, I think, is the key. Benite hit the one, then he took a rushed one second up. So now, you know, he's out there. Alex Ertesan is out there. Soko can make him as well. Not really a three-point shooter at the point guard spot, but if I'm Mike, I pack it in right now. Force Murcia to beat us from the, force them to beat you from the outside for sure.
So Punter has his three-pointer already. They inbound the ball. Kloof brings it. Now he's got it back. Ertesan. Now Soko and Lima. Blocked from behind by Harris. Oh, what a terrific aggressive play by Xanthopoulos. Now Harris. Sakura down low. Is he going to go to work? He turns and he misses the shot. This is the second semifinal in the Basketball Champions League. Monaco won the first one, and now Benite misses from deep, and Mavroides comes down with a rebound. Xanthopoulos, Harris, and draws the foul from Kloof. So Kloof hits him on the left wrist.
Yeah, so right call, right in front of the referee as well. He's standing in that spot, so you're not going to get away with anything in front of him.
And you're talking about the all-around game of Harris, what he did at the other end, getting the block on Lima.
Well, I got to say that, you know, just thinking about the things that have impressed me. Ike's rim protection in his first 12 minutes has been very, very good indeed. I mean, the way they protected, yeah, they gave up a couple of offensive rebounds, but apart from the dunk from Tumba, you think Soko's been blocked at least once. You know, they protected the rim and the paint really well indeed.
Great atmosphere and one of the famous theaters of basketball in the world, really.
This is going to be interesting as well for Ike. I'm surprised they didn't go to this matchup earlier. You know, Vasilopoulos at the three loves to post up. I mean, he's an absolute, you know, physical monster. How Murcia guard him, I don't really know if he goes into the post.
Offensive foul. And things it's not going according to plan for Yvonne Navarro and Murcia.
But they're still alive. We said they haven't got going shooting the three. They haven't finished in the paint very well. They're down 3.
Xanthopoulos over to Punter. Hits! Another three-pointer. That last foul, by the way, was on Lima. Well, Punter's hit 2 big threes, and Xanthopoulos called for his first foul.
He's not bad. He's not bad. Mid-season addition, is he? Kevin Punter was leading the Basketball Champions League, I believe, in scoring. When he left, Rosso Adam came to AEK. He played previously in Greece last year, but only averaged 12 a game. And he's been a big-time addition. As you see Harris getting the block that you were talking about, that rim protection we've mentioned.
Cook has his foot on the line. And now Xanthopoulos for 3. Sakoda with the rebound, and he was fouled. 2 free throws. Here it is again, look. Wow, Benite got all ball.
I'm going to say this though, this is a reward of the great effort of Sakata, because you know this is a guy, he likes to pick and pop, he likes to be on the three-point line. We haven't seen him near there in this first half. He's doing the dirty work, posting, rebounding, done a great job feeding off this crowd, I think.
You know, what was interesting was really the ref, Togo Sahin, was in position to make that call, and he didn't call it. But the call was made by the other. No points scored by Murcia. They have been in drought. Not of epic proportions.
Well, the great rim protection from AEK, and they haven't hit the 3. You know, I think they're going to start making to spread the defense out at the moment. You know, look, Soko's in there. He's surrounded by 3 players. It's such a hard finish for him.
Boy, he put that ball high off the glass.
Yeah. But all the AEK defenders are able to come in, you know, really crowd him out because they're not respecting that three-point threat.
Punter. And now Hanna comes up with it. Over to Kloof, and the ball just goes off of Kloof's hands. And Navarro, the coach, just tells his point guard, just catch it.
Yeah.
Well, that was a shot, a high degree of difficulty. And here it is. Tried to make the play before he had the ball.
It's you know, it's one of those mistakes. Can't do anything about it, but they had the advantage. They had a chance to score. Murcia not liking the referee's calls down this end of the floor.
Well, perhaps home court advantage.
Second on Benite. Ollison already got 2.
I mean, it is an incredible sight. You have to see it to believe it here, folks. This crowd behind the basket that AEK are shooting at is just a sea of bodies jumping up and down. And this is why, because Punter has come out firing. Look at that.
What a performance. Kevin Punter off the bench. 8 points.
He has come ready to play tonight. The lead now is biggest for AEK, 7 points. Hanna dribbles between the legs. To Soko, over to Benite, open. And Lima called for the foul. And interestingly, this is the point of the game that you raised, the offensive boards. How will AEK keep this Murcia team off the glass?
But again, you see the battle both ways. Look, Soko catches it. Look at there's 2 guys coming to help. He's guarded by 3 different people. Benite wide open. Far side, Kloof is wide open. You know, they don't knock it down from the three-point line. And AEK, their challenge, the rebound. Mavridis, he does it perhaps by a little, you know, acting, but gets the job done. He goes to the opposite end of the floor at the line. Lima's out after picking up his second foul. Doesn't matter how you've done it, they've done it. They've secured the defensive rebound. And it's the same for Murcia now. They've got to find a way somehow to knock shots down from the perimeter or open up this inside, because it's just going to get harder and harder. The gym's going to get louder and louder the more they miss.
Mavroidis, another of the Greece internationals in this AEK team, and he makes both.
1 of 10, Murcia from beyond the three-point line.
And Olesen with the 2 early fouls on the bench. Soko, nice soft release from the Great Britain international.
It's a really nice play they run there. Rather than Soko roll, he just stops around the foul line and almost seals in the high post. Gets a lot out of that play.
And now fighting through the pick, Soko is called for another foul.
His second.
And Ivan Navarro is beside himself out of the picture. So Sakota fouled, goes to the free throw line, and things go from bad to worse for Murcia. In some ways, you feel like when Greek teams, but especially a team like AEK, when they get an 8-point lead, it seems even bigger.
But there is a very long time to go. The most important thing right now is Murcia have got to stay within the game. They can't get consumed by the referees and feeling sorry for themselves, because like you say, AEK's just going to make this lead more and more and more and make it even harder. So they just need to forget, carry on playing.
Cliff turns, loses it out of bounds. Another turnover. And with that, Sadio Rojas is going to come back into the game.
Second time Luke's just lost the ball.
Sakura for 3. Got it! And Owaka erupts once again. Their biggest lead of the game, 12 points. And this AEK crowd that came here tonight to witness a huge game in their club season, they are smiling right now.
Oh, it's all going right for them. You know, Sakata, that's what he does. Feet set. He's one of the best three-point shooters in the competition. They're 4 of 9 for 3. AEK. So, you know, they've done a great job controlling the glass. They're tied there. They've got 4 offensive rebounds in comparison to the 5 for Murcia. And then, you know, defensively, they're running the scale. Murcia have got to find a way to beat them. See the rebounding battle, but the three-point shooting is the other one. Murcia 1 of 10, AEK 4 of 9.
But first option is on the inside.
I don't know how she can sleep in an environment like this.
That is not, oh, she's a Monaco fan, that's why.
All right, okay.
Cheered herself out after the last game.
Well, they were so excited to have a chance to host the Final Four, and they want to make the most of it. Look at that. So Murcia had a good start, but right now it's all AEK.
That was the second timeout for Murcia. We talked about the one in the first quarter. So now any chance this crowd gets to explode, they get in a run. There's no way of stopping it for the bench of Murcia.
You can see Navarro talking to Tolga Sahin. I don't know what he's saying, but no free throws perhaps. Soko in the lane. 3 seconds.
He's got to go score, Soko. That's a good matchup for him with Sakata, I think. It was a bit passive that time. The trouble is with Tumba on the floor, Tumba's under the ring as well, and his Mavridis is just waiting there to double team anytime Soko makes that move.
That's Lopoulos inbounds it. Sakura. Mavridis trying to go to work on Tumba.
Coming back to the right hand.
And a little bit too much dribbling there. Now Hannah up ahead to Soko. And he was fouled. 2 shots, Kasanthopoulos. And Navarro's asking, why isn't that an unsportsmanlike? And I have to say, it looked like one to me.
Yeah, he made a move for the ball, but he wasn't trying to get it. He was just trying to make the foul.
So instead of a potential 3-point play or best that this Murcia team can do out of this one is 1 free throw. So it is an uphill struggle.
And Ovi Soko's the man who's got to step up for Murcia. They've got to find a way to get him some points. Him and Hannah. They haven't got Ollison on the floor now with a foul trouble. You know, it's Hannah and Soko that have the quality to be able to take them, you know, back into this game.
Soko makes good on the second one, and it's back now to 11. Mavridis thinks he can post up, and Tumba fouls him. Yeah, boy, that was a hard foul as well, looking at it from that standpoint. From that vantage point.
Right now, you know, Murcia haven't been able to execute the scout very well. Mavridis, he gets it that deep. That's what he can do. Finish really well. If he's that deep, you know, he's going to turn back to the right hand. You've got to find a way to stop him getting the catch 2 feet in the lane. You put him on the block and he instantly becomes half the player. He's a solid free throw shooter, 65% for his big man. So, you look at the other end, Ike doing everything. They're taking Murcia out of what they want to do, out of the game. Murcia have got to do the same now against Ike. Hunter's come in, scored. Coach has got the 3. Manny Harris got going. They've had a great rest into his legs here in this second quarter as well.
Keep an eye on Vasilopoulos and Sadio Rojas on the left of your screen. Starting to heat up that battle, and Ollison is now coming back in for Benite.
I think this is the right call. They got to bring him back. They need him.
So, foul called on Punter. Soko turns, and Xanthopoulos is really making a nuisance of himself out there, isn't he? Good quick hands. 6 on the shot clock. Inbounds. Soko had a good look, didn't finish. Hunter, another 3. Go! He's having a good time. And the lead is 15. Perhaps contending for MVP honors in this game. Murcia in trouble. Ollison hits a 3. And Navarro pleading. Both clubs pleading
He's got a point.
for fouls.
He's got a point as well. It was accidental, but Sandopoulos fell to the floor and literally just took the legs of Ollison away as he's shooting. Watch. He falls over, nothing wrong with it, but look, just takes the legs of Ollison.
Yeah.
It's a foul. It has to be a foul. And that's what Navarro's saying. So, you know, it doesn't matter, this incidental. He fell straight into Ollison shooting. That's dangerous. Ollison could have got hurt.
Well, Navarro, quite rightly, saying you got to make that call. Potential 4-point play.
Huge though. Only the second three of the game for Murcia.
And it was by Ollison. Sakura tries to answer. Rojas with the rebound and fouled by Vasilopoulos. And watch Rojas and Vasilopoulos. Oh, he did get him with the elbow. No doubt about it. There's the Murcia faithful.
Bleeding, he's got to go out.
But they haven't really given Murcia's fans the best seats in the house, have they? Rojas makes the first one. Murcia actually, I think, had wanted to host it, the Final Four. And Rojas makes the second. Keep an eye on him. He's got that look in his eye. So 5 straight points now scored by Murcia.
Defense, 2-3 zone. I mean, this is dangerous. Harris, Ponta, Sakata all on the floor.
And the ball goes out of bounds off of AEK. Suddenly, the door opens just that little bit more for Murcia. Looked like they were about to be ready, about to be run out of the gym just a minute ago. Again, Navarro pleading his case. Just wanting, I think it's kind of like equal treatment.
Like I said, he's got to keep, you know, working the referees, but he's got to make sure focus remains on the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't let the referees frustrate you that much.
Bounce pass. Soko, much better. And this time he earns the trip to the line.
It's that same play, that little short roll. I think that's the way forward for Murcia. But Soko in that sort of situation, it gives him a little bit more room to attack, rather than when he's on the low block. They're really doing a good job of doubling up behind him. And Ollison again being on the floor just opens it out once again. You know, him being out there, even though he's got the 2 fouls, you know, his threat of making the 3 means the defense stays a little bit closer to him, means Soko's got more room.
Free throws for Soko, and now single digits rather, the deficit, 8. And Rojas comes up and called for a foul on Vasilopoulos. Ollison tells Rojas to back off. I tell you, Vasilopoulos is a good story. You know, one of the real up-and-comers playing for Greece. Played in the 2008 Olympics in Beijing, and then had a myriad of injury problems. And has sort of resurrected his career here the last couple of seasons.
Surprised they haven't gone to him in that block. Like I said, he's such a danger down there, such a physical specimen.
Hannah throws it over the defense to Tumba. Now Soko. And kind of got into a pickle. Just perhaps forced it a little bit too much. Vasilopoulos decides to pull it back out.
The zone's worked so far, and they got into the half court. They caused real problems, and there's another one that can steal.
Hannah for three, good! And just like that, here comes UCAM Murcia.
Well, you wouldn't have thought it would work. Zoning a team which is shooting it incredibly well from beyond the three-point line. They got multiple shooters out there, but you know, it's just changed the rhythm of the game. The press back to the zone has just taken, you know, a little bit of the offense away from Ike, and then, as we repeatedly say, the three-point shot for Murcia, when they're making them, Ollison hits one, now Hannah makes another. They're a different team.
One time you can get inside. Okay.
Harris has 12.
Go, try first.
Punter has 11 points.
One feet. Attack inside. Attack. Now, you get them easy to come in situation.
Hannah's 11 leading the way from Murcia. Soko now with 7 points. But he's just doing 7.
Make some noise! This is a
I thought Xanthopoulos was causing a lot of problems out there while he was on the court.
I mean, the import players, you look at, you know, especially Manny Harris, 12 points, Kevin Punter 11. They've done a lot of the scoring, but the domestic players, Xanthopoulos, Sakota, they've all done their part, whatever that might be.
Sakota has 6 points.
Stay in this zone.
Cavadas is in the game as well, down low now, number 24. And Harris flies, but Tuma protects the rim. Rojas open. And that was a big-time rebound from Punter. And now the pass from Vasilopoulos right into the hands of Murcia. Ollison. Quick pass to Soko. And Soko is blocked by Cavadas. But Tumba there gets the ball and scores. And now it's a 4-point deficit.
It's just a great job. But, you know, again, Soko could have stopped. Murcia could have stopped and worried about a foul, but they didn't. They just carried on playing. You know, they're making a couple of substitutions here, saving the fouls. We're going to put Lima in. He's got 2. Interesting. They take Ollison out to save him for the 2 fouls. Well, and they bring Lima in instead of Soko. For a pair of them have got 2. Possession, perhaps.
10-1 run from Murcia. Mike Green. Over to Vasilopoulos.
2 seconds.
5 on the shot clock. Green. And a foul right as Green attacked the basket. Tumba. So Tumba gets the foul, his second.
There's a lot of guys on 2 fouls for Murcia. Soko, Benite, Olison, Lima, and Tumba all got 2.
So Kavadas comes back out. And James back in, number 1 for Ike.
He did a great job, didn't he, James? I'm not sure why it's taken so long for him to go back. For the first 7 minutes.
Yeah, 7.5 minutes. So good free throw shooting from Green. Played with Pinar Kosciaka last season. But it's Murcia who should have the last shot of the half. Hanna, 5-4. Is he going to put it up? Yes, he's going to pass it into the hands of Harris. And that is how it finishes the first half.
Great defense on that last possession for Mike.
So players walk off the court. They led by as many as 15. Ike goes to the locker rooms with a 40-34 advantage.
Here at the halftime, all of you, WWs.
Well, great atmosphere, and here are the numbers in the first half, the shooting numbers.
3-point shooting for me, 5 of 11 for Ike. Good, Murcia, there was those 2 late threes or threes second half of the second quarter. There's been in that run, it helped them get back into the game.
5 blocks for Ike. Talk about the rim protection. Certainly big, but a lot of basketball to be played. Harris has 12 points, Kevin Punter 11 points. Vince Hunter has the 5 rebounds. Hanna, the 2 steals, 2 blocks for Tumba. And Hanna has a team-high 11 points for Murcia. The winner to face Monaco in the final. The loser will go up against MHP Riesa Lewisburg in the battle for 3rd place. Both of those games will be on Sunday. So we're at halftime. Ike leading it 40-34 over Murcia. We'll be right back.
Foul. Requested by La gente así rítmica. Clap your hands. Clap. Clap. Thank you very much. Κύριε μην ξεχνάτε, πρέπει να κρατήσετε τα εισιτήρια μέχρι την Κυριακή. Δηλαδή είναι τα ίδια εισιτήρια για το μικρό τελικό και για το μεγάλο τελικό. So once again, dear spectators, do not forget to keep your tickets, which are the same for the finals on Sunday. Πεντέμιση ώρα, την Κυριακή, ο μικρός τελικός. 8:30 ώρα, ο μεγάλος τελικός του Final Four. Once again, don't forget that on Sunday, the game for the bronze medal for the third place will be at 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m. The final of the 2018 Final Four of the Basketball Champions League, 8:30 p.m.
There's usually a lot of nerves. Because I'm nervous, I'm more focused.
There's so much pressure, so much expectation.
The moment I switch on before every game is when I walk into the locker room. For me, it's when I pray.
After this moment, I'm a totally different person.
It felt like there was a switch in my brain.
At that moment,
It's war.
you get a little body tension and you just want to compete. We like to go into a hostile environment. We want to feel at home when we get to Athens.
I don't want to lose. Το παιχνίδι τώρα αρχίζει.
Tempo de juego. Let's get slow.
Let's do the job.
It's game time. I can play.
So, Coach, after a tight first quarter, the second quarter looked like it was getting away from you. Had a comeback towards the end. Does that give you confidence going into the second half?
Well, we think that if we control the rebound, we're going to have chances to stay in the game until the end of it. And I also think that we need to make any open shots and read the defense when we try to play one-on-one and they collapse the paint to find the wide open pass.
And how is it playing and coaching in that atmosphere out there?
Well, I know we knew that it was going to be tough, and it's been like this. So, well, we move well in this kind of situation. So I hope that it ain't gonna affect us.
Perfect. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Welcome back.
40-34, AEK Athens on top of UCAM Murcia here in the second semi-final in the electric atmosphere here in Athens.
Hola. Okay,
The winner to face Monaco.
Don't forget,
Monaco big winners over MHP Reason Lewisburg earlier
Coach,
tonight.
so after a tight first quarter, the second quarter was a little bit more open. They had a comeback at the end. But how are you feeling going into the second half?
Was that concentration in the last period we should keep, not because of difference. It's difficult to keep one difference, but the way how we play, we change the way. So we start making turnovers and rushing in some situation without reason. So you give them opportunity because their basket is, transition and shot. If you let them do it, they can score many points in transition. So we should control this rhythm like we control from the beginning.
Fantastic. Good luck in the second half. Thank you.
Persino Final Four to Basketball Champions League. Έγινε στην Τενερίφη της Ισπανίας. Νικήτρια ομάδα ήταν η Iberostar Tenerife. Τώρα βρισκόμαστε εδώ στην Ελλάδα, στην Αθήνα.
Lloyd, it's a 6-point game. In the first semifinal, we saw MHP Reason Lewisburg lead at halftime by 2. But they were drilled in the second half. And you wonder what kind of second half we've got coming our way now.
Well, we know momentum is everything. At halftime of the last game, it could have gone either way for sure. And you almost felt like whichever team got the run at the right time was going to take the win. It's exactly what happened. Monaco got that momentum. They got the advantage, and Ludwigsburg, in a rush to get the game back, just really extended the lead anymore. The question is the same thing going to happen here? It's a 6-point lead. AEK have a quick start. Will then Murcia start to worry, start to take rush shots? They are a team that likes to play pretty slowly, Murcia. They will have longer offenses, and they won't want this lead to get out too much, that's for sure. But there's a long way to go. I think they showed positive signs in the second quarter, just getting that momentum back once again.
Well, UCAM Murcia come out, and now AEK also on the floor. See the points scored by quarter. Interesting, we saw former AEK Athens, former AEK player, pretty famous, Kurt Rambis, before the game. He played here before he started his career with the Los Angeles Lakers back in 1980-81. Now, back to live action, James comes out and misses with the first attempt.
Both teams, same starting fives. First quarter advantage was with AEK.
Rojas to Soko, and Soko was defended by Hunter, and a foul was called on Hunter.
Plays they need him to drop. Soko got a good look. He was frustrated he didn't make it.
misses the first. I remember when Hunter played last season for Avtodor Saratov. And boy, he played the game above the rim. You see him up close, he's a really big man, isn't he? Gets the rebound there, two, Soko misses. Harris passes it back outside. Now Green fouled by Olesen, and that is number 3.
That's a huge call. I mean, it was there to be taken by Olesen.
Well, he can't really complain about that, can he?
No, I don't think so. It's unfortunate. He did get the ball, but he got a lot of arm.
And Green, who was fouled on the play, drives in and scores the first 2 points of the second half.
You're going to leave Olesen out there, 3 fouls. It's a big call.
Well, it's like you say, he provides that threat from 3-point range. He puts it up, and he is fouled while attempting the 3 by Hunter.
I'd like to see the replay, that one.
Oh, he got him on the right arm.
Yeah, on the shoulder.
He wasn't necessarily in the shooting motion, but he grabbed him.
And it's one of those plays by Hunter. He just didn't have to make it. You know, why put your arms out there? Why give the referee the opportunity?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the 4th foul on Hunter.
And you ask, are they doing the right thing by leaving Olesen out there? And I think we get the response immediately.
Well, this is where one of the guys like Brad Olesen, they've played so long, and the coaches often know them so well. They know how they can trust them. And you got to say, at this moment in the time, they need Olesen on the floor. They're so much better. You think of the run, the advantage I got, it was all when he was out. So that's what Coach Navarro knows. He's going to trust the guy who's been there before.
Now Green trying to be more active, perhaps looking towards the basket here in the second half than he was in the first. Now Zakas. James. Oh, he passes up the 3 to Harris.
Just beat the buzzer. He got up quick. I think he was going to have the time.
And now, Zakas fouls. Look at Harris. He's got some springs, doesn't he?
Shaking that arm. Might have got it tangled up. It's his right arm, so he doesn't need that one to shoot.
Olesen, you know what state he's from, don't you?
Alaska.
It's mighty cold up there. But it's not cold in the gym. Not when he plays. He gets hot. Here he is. Hanna tries to get it back to Soko. Green. Now Zakas to Mavroidis. I'll tell you, Mavroidis runs the floor. He is workmanlike.
Yeah, he's like a truck when he gets going down the middle. You know, he isn't quick, but pure effort. Can't give the minutes he perhaps used to, but like I said, he gives you what you expect, and he's a very reliable player as well. That's why he's come into the national team for Greece, performed well, you know, for a team which has done well, qualified already forward. So,
and that all started with Mike Green sticking his nose in there and effectively getting that ball ahead of Soko. dribbling around. Bounce pass, Soko. They desperately wanted to get him going.
Yeah, I think they got to go to that little short role play they have with Soko in the foul line. See if they can get him, you know, their space to go one-on-one. It worked well in that first half.
James falls down. Sadiel Rojas collects the rebound.
And Hannah's the other one. He started so well for Murcia, but since that point, what's he done?
Well, Mike Green called for the foul. That was the play before with Soko that he finished. It's a big play because you could hear the crowd really getting into it after the Mavroidis dunk. Now the pass to Tumba. And denied. Now Green, James, he was looking to pass, and in the end, he didn't have the pass, so he shot it. Hannah pulls up. Oh, that was a big play.
Yeah, well, I said they need Clevin Hannah to score. That's what he did early. He's a 45% three-point shooter. You know, you wouldn't believe it. They got to get him looks.
Well, that was a 5-point swing. Harris for three. And you think a timeout might be coming from Dragan Sakura.
Team fouls, you're going to commit a cheap one like that. Soko just gets an easy chance to walk to the other end. Why are you reaching in? If you're James, there's just no need. Got to know the score situation.
And that was the Hannah shot. So this puts Soko on the free throw line. You know, we've talked about how big this game is for AEK, but not so much for Murcia. But this could be the biggest game in club history if they win this.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it. I mean, this is a put on the map type of win for UCAM Murcia if they can pull this off. They've got it back to 3 points, having trailed by as many as 15 in the first half. Harris puts it up and maybe doing too much.
Just, I mean, cleaning up on the defensive glass.
Alley-oop, and it's slammed home by Ovi Soko. One of the plays of the Final Four without question. Look at this. And Soko's numbers just keep going up, and away.
I mean, the only thing that's really held him back from a great game is the free throw line. He's just 4 of 8, with 12 points, 6 rebounds. You know, and we said, there's a couple of things that we said early. Rebounding the ball, how key that is to Murcia. And that's what they've done through that 2 or 3 minute spell, just taken away any chances for AEK. So when they're not making the first shot opportunity, you don't get a chance at second shot against Murcia. And then that motor of running the floor.
Boy, it doesn't get any closer than that, does it? Field goals and free throws.
That's incredible. I've never seen that before.
The difference is Murcia are 4 of 14 from three-point range and 5 of 14. One more three-pointer for AEK.
We're going to see the result.
Yep. Oh, but Murcia right back into it. Running the floor, using that speed, that front court.
You know, so often people talk about for a team trailing like Murcia, but really that first 5 minutes of that second half, are they going to give themselves a chance to win?
Yeah.
And they definitely have.
And they would have got a lot of confidence from that little spell as well. Knowing when the key guys out there, they're more than a match, right?
So another foul called on Tumba. 3 fouls on him.
got to know when to break the contact. Ball's moved from one side of the floor to the other. He's still trying to fight, and he's too close. Means Mavridis gets that little step around him so he can get the seal. Lima comes in now, though. See if he can have any impact. 0.0 rebounds in the first half.
Well, three-pointer from Gianoulis Lansakis. I mean, to me, he's not their most dangerous shooter if you're going to pick your poison.
Yeah, for sure. He's a guy that's, you know, more creative off the dribble. Oh.
Green falls down, but gets back up. A little bit of a mismatch, perhaps, down low. Hanna and Rojas flies in. The offensive rebounding for Murcia, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah. And again, this is it. Look, one chance. Another. Well, they had two chances. We didn't see on the replay, and it is out off Ike, right? The right goal.
There's Lansakis' shot. He almost hit one in the first half as well. Olesen, you give Murcia 2 and 3 bites at the cherry. They're finally going to eat it.
Everything looking good for Murcia, really. They've brought back the lead. Ike in foul trouble already.
James turns it over, another turnover on him.
This is where you got to watch out for Hanna.
And Lima, right down the lane, tie, 49 apiece.
And I think that's what Lima gives more than Tumba, the ability to, you know, be a cut finisher.
Boy, Hanna definitely committed the foul on that one, but great pass. Was that Soko?
Yeah, and that's it. You know, Soko can finish. Now they were flooding the lane early, and he couldn't find Tumba. Now Lima's on the floor, which we just haven't seen. He just gives a different animal, a different beast on that cut, or his ability to, you know, make space and finish at the ring.
Just feel the tension, perhaps the uncertainty now in this arena, when before it just looked like Ike were just in total command. These fans know they've got a game on their hands now. Rojas for three, that was short, but the ball bounced out to Rojas.
Soko's got a mismatch. They need to go to him against Lansakis. Here it is.
Gonna pass it. Now Rojas again, and the foul before the shot.
Once again, just Lima being on the floor. Soko happy to quickly give it to him. Lima instantly into that pick and roll. The defense adjacent. You know, they were unlucky not to get a continuation on that one.
Rojas plays for the Dominican Republic national team. And he has a chance now to put Murcia in front. And he does. So it may have looked bleak, but they have made up 16 points. And now it's a 1-point lead for Murcia. Mike Green puts up a three.
I think Kevin Punter's got to come in. They need that scoring punch eye where, you know, the scoring's dried up completely. He's the one guy we know, he knows where the ring is.
Hanna picked, and Soko not able to finish. Green to Harris, they might get something here. Sakura, Ike back in front. Very smart play by Harris and Green. Pushing it quickly. And Hanna just lost it. And then Lima fouled Green. It looked like Lima kind of lost control here. Well, no, he was just scoring for the ball. Anyway, this is the play where Ike scored, and Sakura finished. So the fouls mounting. Lima. Olesen with 3 fouls. Tumba with 3 fouls. I thought Lima already had 2. Yeah, now he has 3 fouls.
Yeah.
It was slow to register.
But they've done a good job now. Now the fouls aren't as much of a worry as they were before the half. I mean, the thing for them is now Kevin Punter is back on. He made that sub. He's an X factor.
Sakura bulling his way in there on the Rojas.
Great shot from Rojas. I was saying, now Punter's back on the floor, and if he can give that scoring punch again, they'll give advantage. And Olesen's going to go out. A lot of spell from him on 3 fouls, Olesen.
Benite has to make sure he keeps it moving in the right direction for Murcia. Kloof also back in after a shaky first half. Benite hands it back to Lima, who gives it to Kloof. Now to Benite. Oh, beautiful pass, Benite to Rojas. Back in front, and what is this foul? Soko? Ovi Soko picks up his 3rd foul. He was picked by Mavroidis. Well, that was just beautiful basketball, that finish.
Where's the basket?
Xanthopoulos comes back in for Ike. Now he had a good first half when they went on their run.
A lot of subs on the floor for both teams now. And at this point in the first half, if you look to the benches of either team, no comparison. Ike dominated that statistic against Murcia. So now that, guys like, well, there's 4 bench guys on. Benite, Kloof, Antelo and Lima, they need to step up for Murcia, try and even that battle.
Well, Sakota is not a player that you want to foul. He's done the business tonight at the free throw line. The captain. Here's Kloof, and battle for the board, and now Lima picks up number 4.
Just a silly play from Lima. He should have had the rebound. He was unlucky, just kind of lost it there. My right reach in there.
Xanthopoulos comes back over, and you just feel the momentum now going back to Ike. Tumba checks back in for Lima. And Punter, who has been a reliable source of points tonight, is at the free throw line but misses. It's always baffling to me when you see a great 3-point shooter go to the free throw line and miss a free throw.
Talked about bench scoring. Sakota and Punter, just between those two, 21 points. Off the bench for Murcia, 7. Oh, sorry, 7 points. 5 for Benite, 2 for Lima. That's it. And that doesn't include, the points of Mavroidis, who's got 5 as well.
Well, Punter's an 86% free throw shooter in the Basketball Champions League. He just missed 2. Over to Benite, steps back, puts it up, front back of the rim. Antelo gets the rebound. Gets it back out to Kloof. Kloof from behind the stripe. Another offensive rebound. Antelo goes up, and this time Sakura collects
everywhere.
They've got numbers. Yep, 5 on 3.
Got a foul. That's a foul.
Punter for three. Long rebound to Sakura. New 14. Punter. Boy, Punter can't buy a basket now.
Offensive foul. They play 5-on-4.
Wow.
Wow.
How did they escape that? Murcia foul Mavroidis. Punter's missed the 2 free throws. He missed the 3. He missed the drive.
And there's 2 shots as well. Yeah. I mean, you're playing 5-on-4 and you give up 2 free throws the other way.
It was 5-on-3 at one point. Well, Tumba, not a bad free throw shooter himself. 86% coming in. And he makes the first. Plays for Eddie Castile's Belgium national team. Was at the Eurobasket last summer. Tumba. Going up against guys like Kristaps Porzingis. Here he is, doesn't get that one to fall, and Manny Harris brings down a rebound in exciting fashion. So Ike have it for what looks like the last shot. Xanthopoulos, shot clock down to 5. Xanthopoulos gets it, and the bump. Foul, so Mavroidis will have free throws.
It's the same play they ran at the end of the quarter in the first half as well, where Manny Harris sneaked in back door and got a layup. Exactly the same play, they just took a different option. And Mavroidis, so 2 out of 2 on execution for that.
Xanthopoulos is good. He's a veteran, 34 years of age. And Mavroidis puts Ike back in front. Still 4.6 seconds remain for Murcia here at the end of the 3rd quarter. So plenty of time. And the miss.
A lot of time left here. 4.5 seconds. Get end to end in 3, no problem.
I thought Sakura was a little bit unlucky on that. Well, Luke's got time. Oh, he lowered his shoulder and waited too long. Ike wanted a charge, but they'll have to settle for a 1-point lead with 10 minutes remaining. 55-54, Ike on top of UCAM Murcia, the Basketball Champions League, 2nd semifinal. So shooting numbers are a little different now. Ike, 2 more 3-pointers for the free throw, and UCAM Murcia having a little bit more toy inside. Anybody's game. I think you felt like at halftime, Ike looked like they would go ahead and win this game, but it's there's a lot of basketball to be played.
Yeah, and you know the key for me, Brad Ollison. I mean, if you think he picked up his 3rd foul, the score was 40-34 in favor of Ike, and there was 8 minutes 38 seconds left to go in the quarter. And he leaves the game and they're +1 with about a minute and a half to go. I mean, the ability for him to stay on the floor, not commit fouls, still play at a really high level and just have that influence on the game has been so important. It just frees up the floor for Obi, we see running, you know, and it just makes it different. And that's the only thing I think, if Lima had managed to do the same, if he had not committed that 4th foul, then I would say, you know, all advantage to Murcia right now. But with Lima out, you know, it's a different look with Tumba on the floor. Ike, I've got Punter, scoreless in the 3rd quarter.
Could go down to the wire. Yeah.
Punter didn't score in that third period. Did he miss the 2 free throws? And
He missed a couple of shots.
Yeah, that's it. They need to get him going, Ike. They left him for so long on the bench.
Still just 11 points.
Yeah, Kevin Hanna's the other one. Quietly, 14 points, 5 assists.
Yeah, it was strange watching Punter miss those free throws. But like you said, he was out of the game too long. Kloof. Boy, it's a tough shot by Kloof. And he comes up dry.
He's either got to get one more step to the ring to get the finish or find somebody else. That's not the shot to take.
Mavroidis again! And Kloof went up to make sure that there was not going to be a 3-point play. Benite taking one for the team.
You almost felt sorry for him. Mavroidis just down the middle. Nothing was going to stop him.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple of times tonight. 4 fouls on Benite, so that's interesting. With Olesen also having his foul issues. Could see Olesen come back shortly.
So right foul, though, is 4 of 6. Missed that one. So saved the point. I think they'll take the 4 fouls on Benite. If they can get 3 or 4 minutes out of him here, then they'll be happy because Olesen's coming back anyway.
Sacco to call for the foul on Ovisoko. 3 fouls on him.
He's done a good job executing out of bounds. Murcia. Got a couple of really clean looks. See if they can get one here. They do.
Kloof, is he finally going to get one? No, he's not.
Offensive rebound again.
And Benite punishes Ike. Good extra effort from Tumba to keep it alive.
We said coming in, Murcia, the leading offensive rebounding team in the competition, 14 offensive rebounds.
Oh, what a pass from Xanthopoulos. And the finish from Mavroidis. Xanthopoulos, the more you watch, you really love his style. He is silky smooth. Six assists for him now, which leads all players. Hanna has 5 assists. Here's Kloof. Kloof having a tough shooting night.
He's been asked to create at the end of the shot clock, though. It's not been easy for him. Kind of fallen on his shoulders.
Over the hump here against a very determined Murcia. Punter, well, he couldn't have asked for a better shot than that. And he makes it.
That's your man again.
4 3-pointers.
The pass just so perfect. Right on the money.
7 assists for Xanthopoulos. And now he comes up with a steal, and Punter goes up for the 2-handed jam. Good steal by Punter, and then he goes for the uncontested.
Well, we asked why wasn't Punter in until so late in the third quarter, because this is what he does. Yeah, the pass from Xanthopoulos was absolutely pinpoint. Just picked him out beautifully in the corner, pick and roll to perfection. But Punter still knocked it down, and then that's what he does. Scoring somehow, some way, he puts points on the board. 16 points for him in this game. He's only played 17 minutes. I mean, what a time for him to have a performance like that.
You guys gotta come a little bit early, you know, the 5 man. A little bit just is setting too low. He's not going to be able to go under. Hey, next offense. Estamos,
Again, you kind of get the feeling now. Have
Brad,
Murcia,
Obi, Iken, vale?
have they
Play
blown it?
slow.
Have they?
Okay, slow here, move the ball.
Got a long time left.
A long time, but again, the momentum is with Ike.
Yeah, but it's how they react to this momentum. The next couple of possessions will be key. If they can just take their time, look settled, get really good quality looks.
And look who's back in the game.
And they'll be okay. And then, like I say, you knew he was coming back. The crowd here, absolutely insane.
So they've kept Benite in as well, and he comes right out and drills the shot off the pass from Olesen.
This is a veteran team from Murcia. I don't think they'll panic about this. We said it is their first experience, this level of European competition, but they got a lot of guys that know what they're doing. They'll be in no hurry. 5.7 minutes, nothing.
Now Olesen knocks it out of Punter's hands.
Shot clock didn't reset though, so just 3.8. That's why the referee's giving it a thumbs up. No one had control, because when Benite gets it, it's on the line there before he has it under control. If they're going to switch here now, you've got to be careful of Punter.
Oh, they throw over the defense to Harris, and an easy one.
It's a great pass by Green. So many players talking about the patience of Murcia would have worried about that, thrown it somewhere else. Green just knew Harris was going to get free.
Now Green has 3 fouls. Well, that was just a tough catch, and all credit to him. 7-point lead. Vasilopoulos coming back in. Panialos Vasilopoulos for Harris. That's kind of a big time to take Harris out of the game.
And surely only a minute or so.
You would think so.
And, just rest so they can finish the game. Worried about whether he can play this final 6.5 in one spell.
Benite again for 3.
Well, we were talking about this before the game. Benite can be, really hot if he gets going. He hasn't been great over the course of the year in the Basketball Champions League, but he does have some pedigree.
And he's hit some big shots, really, when Murcia have needed them to stay in the game. The second three-pointer, and now the foul called on Soko.
It's his 4th. He doesn't need to foul there. I mean, Mavridis, he gets him, he's got to force him to go to his left. And I think Soko, even though he's giving up a lot of size, he can guard that one-on-one down low.
So Benite has 4, Soko has 4, Tumba and Olesen each with 3. Benite with the steal. Al to Tumba, but just the pass wasn't quite there. Sakura, go! Sakura sticks it to him. 5-point swing.
Plays like that just break the game. I mean, Soko got the steal. They worked so hard, Murcia, to not execute. And numbers transition.
And Soko, has he fouled out of the game?
He fouled out?
I think he just got called. Yep, he is fouled out of the game. That's a tough call on Novi Soko.
It's a terrible call. I'm sorry, I don't like to criticize the officials, but, the contact they've allowed to go through the game, to call that one foul out. I mean, you watch the next possession, there'll be twice as much contact in every phase.
Well, they're really up against it now.
They're really small. Again.
Sissoko. So 2 quick ones on Soko, and he's out of the game. And Sakura at the line. A player they'd like to have at the line. Sakura makes the second. And it's a 9-point advantage.
Real small lineup on the floor for Murcia. We'll try and spread him out.
Rojas from the left. So Mavroidis called for the foul on Olesen. Still plenty of time. They got to start making shots and getting stops. Benite in the lane, tough shot.
It's a great finish from Benite.
14 points.
See if they can ride his hot hand here. Try and post Sakata. Come back to his right hand.
Vasilopoulos cross court, and punter misses badly. So bad that the clock expires as Mavroidis chases it, chases the ball, and it's back to a 7-point game.
Great D from Murcia. Good possession for him.
I'll tell you, it's an interesting lineup that Murcia have. And to be honest, they've got playmakers out there.
Yeah, it's the first time they've got this great spacing because they've got everyone to guard but Tumba.
Olesen open, and the foul called on Sadiel Rojas. Boy, he and Vasilopoulos have really gotten into it tonight. And Vasilopoulos once again, and goes down like a sack of wheat after that incredible contact.
I mean, the players pushing each other all over the floor, and then all of a sudden, the contact becomes twice as much that a guy like him falls to the floor. Now they're going to try to zone again. It worked in the first half.
Harris.
Careful of punter.
It did indeed. Sakura. Green. Sakura for 3. That would have brought the house down. Now Murcia with another opportunity. Hannah. Oh, he was open.
And needs to step up. He's got it by Sakata.
Benite. And punter collects it in the corner. Punter offensive foul called on Green. So now he's out, but that means Konstantinopoulos is back in.
I don't think they get much weaker at this point in the game. It's exactly what they need. Hard-nosed defender, looks after the ball.
Olesen, back to Benite for 3. Good!
Wow, Benite!
Goodness gracious! Samba, look at Benite. Now let's be honest, we were talking earlier, and I told you Benite was good.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also talked about before the game the atmosphere. Some guys love it, some guys hate it. He's a guy who loves it. Rio Olympics, loves it, you know, wants the pressure. Right here, right now, crowd is silenced off the back of a big scoring run from him.
He has gone to a game-high 17 points, Vitor Benite.
And everybody goes different. Everybody has the shot.
I mean, he's got such a hot hand that Murcia are trying to find him.
On the same play a couple of times. It's a really difficult one to guard. On the sort of hammer action, so a screen on the weak hand side of the floor for a three-point shooter, and a screen from the top. So as the penetration goes along the baseline, he either looks to the opposite side, or if he can't get to the ring, comes back and throws it to Benitez as he did there. You know, when you've got Olison going one way, Benitez going the other, defense has got a tough ask to cover both of them.
So the smaller lineup, even though they didn't want to lose Soko, in a way, has changed the game, arguably in favor of Murcia.
I mean, they've got such a small lineup on the floor. You look, Rojas is essentially playing the 4 for them. You know, him and Olison are the next two biggest guys outside of Tumba. Stay in this zone, and it really has worked.
2-3 zone. Harris.
Shot clock to 5.
Harris puts it up at the line. I mean, it's just a great player, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a big-time shot from a big-time player.
Can't fault Murcia for that. And now, punter fouls Benitez. Interesting how...
Look at this, 3 guys around him. Leads 1, pulls up in front of 2.
Interesting how in the first game, as you see the frustration, how the captains really, you know, Amada C stood up in a very important time for Monaco. He wasn't having a great game, and then all of a sudden, and the same thing has happened for Benitez, the captain.
And Sakato, to be fair, as well. He's had a big game, 15.
Absolutely. And Benitez, meanwhile, just keeps pouring in the points. He's got 19 points. Vitor Benitez, I don't think he scored that amount all season long in the Basketball Champions League. Sakura turns it over, trying to pass it inside. Hannah, is he going to pull up on a break? Yes, he does. And Harris makes sure that rebound's going to Ike. Bats it over to his teammate. Now James. Oh, what a move!
Great finish from James. Incredible drive along the baseline.
And now, punter with the steal. And James catches it and wisely brings it back out. No, I take it back. Benitez had 21 and 22 points in a couple of other games. Punter, Manny Harris, important rebound, and the putback. That was huge. He just makes plays.
Yeah, first time the size, that small lineup has been a problem. Harris using his athleticism, they're crashing the glass.
20 points now, the game high for Manny Harris. And you know why a lot of people think he's the MVP of the league.
It's been a quiet 20, really, for Harris. Made a couple of big baskets, but...
He's got 2 steals, a block, an assist.
Gus, Benitez, Brad, Clevin. Okay? Clev, come here, inside, and we pass the ball to Sadi. Sorry, to Benitez. And now, Clevin, when you are inside, you can back screen on Xavier. And then
Shooting numbers. So what do you think is going to happen?
I think they're going to go for a 3.
And they're going to get it to Benitez.
Yeah, first man's going to be a curl, and then the man's going to come high, see if he can get a look. If not, the inbounder's going to get a back screen. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Maybe Hannah to come high. after Benite, and then Benite to set the back screen for Rojas. Other way around. Here comes Benite high. Oh, good step from Hanna.
Hanna goes up, and he's blocked by Punter. Oh, good hands, and it's going to lead to a Rojas layup. Thought he was going to dunk it.
Still plenty of time. No, get a stop here and get Benite a look. Wow.
They got to get it across midcourt, and they barely do. Xanthopoulos. Shot clock had 7, just on 17 as he was crossing midcourt. Harris up against Hanna. Punter passes up the jumper, and he gets the contact, and Benite has fouled out of the game. Here's that last play. Not understanding what Benite did wrong on that one.
It's a big loss. Benite, you know, he's the guy that's just been the hot hand, a leading scorer.
Yeah, he's really
out. Yeah.
He's upset. He knows that was a tough call, tough way to go out. And Punter, perhaps.
He's one to make it the 3-possession game. Still plenty of time. Ollison and Hanna, 40% three-point shooters on the season.
Wow.
Missed them both.
Hanna.
And an open floor as well.
Samuel Rojas gets up, and the follow from Lima, and it's a 4-point game.
Great play, and that's the experience of Murcia. Didn't need the 3 because Rojas could get him an easy 2.
Harris falls down. Hanna gets on the ground. Possession arrow goes to Ike.
The shot clock doesn't reset though, so they've only got 10 seconds still. That means that Murcia will have the possession arrow. Anything else?
Rojas gave everything on that one. He's coming up. Looks like he's holding his midsection. Kind of got stuck by Harris. And he's having a hard time getting up. Is he going to be able to go? This was Hanna, and when Rojas scored on the last one, what a difficult, or excuse me, Lima. Good play by Lima, but Rojas really shaken up on the play.
He's a warrior. He'll keep going. As soon as the ball comes in, he'll be ready. 10 seconds left.
Oh, Green gets it to Harris. Turns it over. Where was he going? Hanna. And gets the foul called on Sakura. That was a tough play by Harris to turn it over.
He makes these. They don't need to foul. It's 32 seconds. They can only use 24 up on the next offense. So
now look,
assuming he makes these 2, I mean, these are big free throws from Clevin Hanna.
I mean, that was Hanna all about getting contact. And now, Ike, perhaps showing they don't know how to close out a game. Oh, big miss. Big miss.
93% on the season. I mean, he's still all right. They're going to need a stop. That's the thing. If he makes 1, it's still a 3-point game as long as they get the stop.
But will Ike allow them to shoot a 3?
Yeah.
Even if they don't make it themselves. Here's Hanna, and the noise deafening.
Timeout. So the choice is Murcia as well. Do they choose to play it out, or do they want to foul? Foul. The score seals the game.
Clearly, you got to get it to Xanthopoulos, let him create, I would think, or is it going to be Green? Oh, Green goes behind his back. The former Butler Bulldog turns it over. Are they going to foul? Surely they're going to foul. Oh, he anticipated it. And Hannah very alertly put the ball up, but just a second slow. So 2 free throws.
Yeah.
Both teams over the limit.
Still time left though.
So he will try to make it, and they'll try to get a steal or a quick foul, surely.
Yeah. And they got the chance. If he makes both of them, there's the pressure that Ike have to make both to make it still a 3-point game.
Hannah takes his time and makes the first one. What's the timeout situation?
1 left each.
So
Coach Navarro had one and cancelled it.
They got to box out in case he misses.
The timeout, advance it. Murcia will try and deny it in. If not, foul immediately. And it means that if Ike miss a free throw,
that's right.
You know, they haven't got a choice of fouling, and he's still going to have probably 5.5 seconds left. Plenty of time, and they've got a timeout. They advance the ball as well. No, this game is a long way from over.
Yep, 6.9 seconds in this situation. A lot can happen.
We don't need basket.
In fairness, Ike have not executed well the final minute, have they?
No, absolutely not.
And basically, Murcia have just taken it as it's come. And here they are knocking on the door of a major come-from-behind win, but still Ike, they control their own destiny, really.
Just having a look at free-throw percentage. Delroy James is the man to foul. Out the season, 68%.
But don't forget, we saw Punter miss a couple.
Yeah. Hunter's 0 for 4. Everybody else has been pretty good on the game, especially Sakata, who's 7 for 8. So you've really got to stop it getting into his hands. Like I say, if you can force it to Delroy James, he hasn't taken a free throw in the game. He's not great percentage-wise either. That's probably the way to go.
So it's Green and Kasanthopoulos. Punter's out of the game. Kasanthopoulos to get it to James, and they're going to foul.
That's what they want.
5.3 seconds remaining.
I mean, percentage-wise, he's one of the lowest on the teams. So this is it. Needs them both, really. Even with this, they will have a chance. The lower the shot clock gets, it takes away the foul as well, because you know you're going to be forcing it up.
Are you surprised they didn't put Punter back in? He makes the first one. He knew exactly what he was doing.
He's 0 for 4, Punter, so.
What you'd like to know is how many shots like this has James made in his career. Maybe he's not a great free throw shooter, except in the tight situations. He only makes 1 of 2. Toma's got to hurry. Sadio Rojas. Oh, and that is that. They escape Ike. Murcia seems like they could have gotten something a little bit better. They thought a foul was called. And Soko and Lima really going after Tozai. And that is Murcia checking into the Heartbreak Hotel, not getting the attempt.
Someone needs to get hold of Lima. Get him out of there. No one wants to see that.
Watch this. You're not going to get a foul on that right there. You're just not going to get a foul call there.
No, it was good defense.
You know, you get some tough calls in a game. But there's no question, as we try to get things finished up here, the crowd, Lima's kind of having to go with everybody. And it looked like some coach or physio or something came from the Ike bench and started having it out with Lima. It's Ike winning 77-75. They will face Monaco in the final. difficult moments. There you see Xanthopoulos trying to calm things down. You see the shooting numbers, and I'm guessing as you look at the final stats, how everything unfolds, it's disappointment. They're not going to change. And Lima and Murcia leave the court disappointed. Harris had 20. Benite was utterly sensational in the second half, finishing with 19 points. Sakura had 15. Punter had 11 of his 16 points in the first half. It wasn't easy, but it never is for AEK Athens. We all know the story. It's been very close for them down the stretch. They've gotten some huge plays tonight, especially from Manny Harris. Overall, how do you digest that?
It was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
You know, some incidents in the end don't take away from that. You know, it was a really highly charged game. You know, both teams played their part. Murcia right there down the stretch, and you know, they can look at a foul, but they had 5 seconds off a rebound, and they didn't get back to the foul line. So, you know, they'll be frustrated with that. AEK will be frustrated, even though they're moving forward at how they close the game out, because really, it shouldn't have got down to a last-second shot. You know, it shouldn't have been that situation for AEK at all.
One more time.
So it sets up a final between Monaco and AEK. And well, I would expect another close one, to be honest.
I mean, any team coming in here to play AEK, that's a tough matchup. So we know Monaco have got the quality. We know how good they've been through the season, both regular season and playoffs. But this is a tough place to come and play.
So looking back on it, anything differently that Murcia could have done? I mean, obviously you're going to have players that might have a bad game, but tactically, you feel like they got it right.
I mean, the foul trouble really hurt them. Yeah. You know, they just couldn't get their guys out there on the floor. We talked about before the game, Augusto Lima, and what an impact he can have, and he just didn't get any, you know, sizable chunk of court time. The foul trouble on Olesen, and then even Benite, when he's the guy that's been going for him and played so well in that second half, then he gets the tough call at the end and fouls out. So, I don't know, I thought they did a pretty good job firefighting, which is what they were doing, which is, you know, not a great place for them to be in. They would have preferred to have, you know, had a better performance.
They never really looked throughout the season, honestly, like a team that was going to go to the final. I mean, this is a major shock, really, in the grand scheme of things. But getting this far, getting the home court advantage, they've made the most of it. And right now, they are playing like a team of destiny, really.
Well, here's the story, isn't it? The 50 years ago, the first championship. They're back in Athens, huge crowd on Sunday night. And, you know, Monaco will be out to spoil the party.
UCAM Murcia needs to hopefully build on this. Obviously, their attention now turns to the third place game. And they would also like desperately to get into the Spanish League playoffs. They're one spot out of that top 8 right now, right behind Iberostar Tenerife. So all the time, the investment, the effort, the practices, everything has come down to this. Murcia, they push AEK to the limit. And if these two teams, as much as we've talked about AEK not looking like a team that was going to make it this far, Murcia certainly didn't. So the fact that they beat Iberostar Tenerife and then they beat Pinar Karšiača in the playoffs, they have to look back and think they've had a great season in the basketball Champions League.
Absolutely, it's been a great year for Murcia. They got better as this season went on. Really was one of the form teams of the playoffs. So, you know, congratulations to them for a good year.
So one final time, AEK win it 77-75 over UCAM Murcia. AEK advanced to the final to take on Monaco on Sunday. Thanks for watching, everybody.